Howdy, folks. I'm Gaston from your favorite Disney movie, The Little Terminator That Could.
I'm Amber, but this is also confusing to me.
And here's some Reddit.
I thought you were saying the little termite that could. I definitely heard that instead of Terminator at first.
Our very favorite Disney classic, The Little Terminator That Could. Gaston, the lead character. Our first story is titled, Am I a jerk for refusing to do a gender reveal cake for somebody? For someone. There's a lot, the lead is pretty buried in that title.
Yeah.
I am a 23-year-old female, and my ex husband, a 35-year-old male, and I have a 1-year-old twins together. And due to a lot of complications from that pregnancy, I got a partial hysterectomy. We divorced during my pregnancy after I discovered that he cheated on me. He's a good dad, and his girlfriend is now pregnant. He cheated on me with his current girlfriend, but she didn't know that he had a wife at the time, and I firmly believe that. I ran a pretty successful baking company in our small town, and I do custom desserts, including gender reveal cakes. How convenient. My husband's girlfriend called me and asked if I would be willing to do a gender reveal cake for them, and said it would mean a lot to the mother of her baby's siblings that they made the cake for the party. I told her that I would have to think about it, and I eventually told her no. I am admittedly incredibly bitter at my ex for cheating on me while I was bedridden and medically frail, being pregnant with his children, and I don't want to be involved in the celebration of their new child. I did specify that it wasn't her, but I just couldn't do it, and she said, alright, and hung up. My ex then called me and told me that I was being rude and unreasonable and completely unprofessional, putting our issues before my business. You don't have the right to refuse. I I told him that I was allowed to refuse service to anyone and hung up. I feel like I have let my feelings get in the way of my business, and if I made the cake, then it's not like I have to be there to celebrate. On the other hand, I do feel like I'm allowed to refuse business however I see fit. Am I the jerk? Edit, I'm not a single mother, so please don't misinterpret my post as me being a sad single mom, bitter that my ex is happy and I'm not. I got married in November to a wonderful woman, and my husband and I have joint custody of our children. I have a great support system, but yes, I'm still bitter about my husband cheating on me while I was bedridden and scared for my babies. Alright, folks, jerk or not the jerk?
Not the jerk.
This was a little bit of a tone deaf thing to ask, don't you think? Hey, I know that my current husband cheated on you while you were basically on your deathbed, but make a cake for us, please. It's like, really, he couldn't keep it in his pants long enough to see his wife through a medical emergency here.
Yeah.
Really?
Look at the age gap.
Yeah, there's a pretty big age gap here, and I'm curious about what the age of his current wife is. Is she even younger? Maybe she's older. Maybe he found someone who's older and closer to his age. Not that that matters in the long term, big scheme of things, but it can be indicative of certain things. Um, I don't think that OP's the jerk. I think that OP has a right to be not really willing to make a cake, and like if you deny them service, then maybe you have to deny service to all people who cheat on their spouses before, who's were in a similar situation to you. You can set that precedent. I don't sell to people with that as a precedent. I'm sure you'll lose a whole lot of business that you totally wanted anyways.
No more selling to people whose husbands cheated on their wives while they were bedridden, pregnant with twins.
So, you know, I think that you are letting your personal feelings get in the way of your business, but not to an unreasonable degree. And I think that this is a very reasonable ask to want to be left alone to and not do special things for your husband and his family, right? So yeah, I would have a hard time faulting you here. Anyhow, take care. First, congratulations on your babies. Second, I agree with your stance on refusing service to them. How narcissistic of your ex. This is epic, adding insult to injury. And OP replies, "Thank you, they are the loves of my lives, and I couldn't ask for better children." Not the jerk, honestly, it was really generous of you to even think it over, and I 100% guarantee he was assuming that they would get friends and family discount. Oh, that's a good point. Maybe he was like, "Oh, we'll get a discount off the cake too. She won't charge us full price." Charge them double, OP. Bake the cake and charge them double. Charge them 10 times. You
I'll
know,
make you the cake if you pay me $1,000.
yeah, I'll make the cake for you if you pay me $1,000. All right, our next letter is titled, "Am I the jerk for telling my daughter she can't use her college money on her boyfriend, which caused her to break up with him?" I know the title paints me as a total jerk, but please hear me out. I'm a 47-year-old female, and my daughter Sarah, an 18-year-old female, is a very smart girl. She has a 4.0 GPA, and she's valedictorian of her class, and she's just gotten word from her dream college that she's received a full ride scholarship. Congratulations. We have a college fund for her for about $250,000. That's a good college scholarship fund. When we found out about the scholarship, we agreed that we would still give her the money for other things that she would need in college, such as housing, a house, food, the entire shopping mall, the entire grocery store. Dude, people don't buy food at a shopping mall, Brian, other than pretzels. What are you thinking? Well, she came home yesterday kind of sad. I asked her what the matter was, and she said that she was not going to go to college anymore. Apparently, her boyfriend Brian. No! Why? It's spelled with a Y, though. Those are the evil Brians. You know how to tell an evil Brian from a good Brian? Just look at how their name is spelled. If it's spelled with a Y, you know you're in for trouble. Do not mess with the Y Brians. They will shank you. And that her boyfriend Brian, a 19-year-old male, told her not to go anymore. Some background on Brian. His family is very well off, and his parents have never had to issue any discipline on his child. I mean, he's very rude and disrespectful, and although he seems sweet to my daughter when they're alone, she'll complain that whenever they're out with friends, Brian is constantly putting her down and comparing her to Instagram models. Brian is currently enrolled in college, but he has no set course for his future. He's just rolling with the cards, Sarah says. Some of their background is that my daughter is going to go to school for marine biology. Well, with what my daughter told me about the conversation, she was telling Brian about her full ride scholarship and how excited she was to finally go to school for marine biology. He's never really supported her dream of being a marine biologist and has always told her to go to college for a quote real job. Whoa, and rolling with the cards is totally a real job too. Maybe Brian needs to take a good long look in the mirror. When he sat her down and told her not to go to college at all, he told her to wait for him here in our town and don't worry about getting a job even because his parents will support her. Does his parents know about this plan? And that he didn't feel comfortable with her going to college out of state and so far away. E.g., he's afraid that she's going to find someone else who's better and not a brat. He also said that it made him feel unmanly when she has a set course for her future, which will give her a good life when he has none. Oh my goodness. This story just keeps getting better and better. It's the gift that just keeps on giving. After she told me what was going on, I didn't make a decision right away, but I knew that I wasn't going to let my daughter throw away her future like this. Then she asked me for her college fund so she could help support Brian's dreams. So I took some time to think, and I sat her down today. I told her that she cannot have her college fund to spend on Brian. She started freaking out, asking why, and it was her money, and asked her to listen. I asked her if she actually could see a serious future with Brian in it. She said nothing the first time and then started crying. I asked her again more gently this time, and she admitted no while still crying. I pleaded with her to please not throw away her future for someone who she can't even see herself having a life with. She then nodded and went up to her room for some time to think. She broke it off with Brian, and he has been calling non-stop, crying and begging to speak to her. I feel very guilty and sort of like a jerk. Am I? All right, folks. All right, folks. Folks, let me know. Do you think that OP is a jerk for breaking his daughter up with Brian?
Not the jerk. Brian sounds like potentially an abusive situation.
Brian, Brian, what are you doing? Okay, okay. Like this guy, he wants to like control her. He doesn't want her to go away because he's afraid she's, going to find someone else better. And also like his parents aren't giving him a full ride, right? So, which means because like
No, they probably are giving him a full
well
ride.
no, because she needs her money to help him,
Well, I
right?
think just to like funnel into him. I don't think it's for his school.
Well, okay. It doesn't sound like even if Brian is this well off and like OP somehow and their family has squirreled away $250,000 for their daughter, but somehow they say that Brian's family is very well off. So their definition of very well off must mean like multi-millionaire. That's all I can figure here. So Brian shouldn't want for nothing. All right. And if for some reason he needs that $250,000, then I think there are cracks there. I think his family, might be aware that maybe he's not the best investment in the world here. And also, like, what happens if he doesn't get through college? What happens if he doesn't get a real job out of college, right? Are his parents just going to support him forever? Maybe they will. Maybe they don't have that in the cards, so to speak, here. And that might be something. I mean, I'm really glad OP sat her daughter down and was like, listen, you know, this isn't worth throwing your future away over, right? Brian, you're going to have major life regrets if you do something like this. So I'm glad, OP, that you sat down with your daughter and got to the crux of the issue here. She felt like she didn't have any choice, right? And probably part of the reason why she didn't want to break it off with him is because of the way he's acting now, right? He's calling nonstop. He wants her back, which I mean, okay, and I'm not saying like that part is probably like the least worrisome here, right? That he is actually very much concerned about getting her back, but like the fact of the matter is that it just seems like a very bad situation brewing. So I'm glad the OP did sit down with their daughter and explain the situation and got to the crux of the feeling. So no, I don't think you're the jerk. I bet Brian though did not see that one in the cards. I know the title paints me as a total jerk, but please hear me out. No, it does not. It paints you as a responsible parent, and the first thing I thought was absolutely not. But then I read halfway into your post and I realized that I was right. You're absolutely not the jerk. The truth of the matter is that Brian is toxic and abusive. She absolutely loves him, but he clearly doesn't love her because he's willing to wreck her future in order to feel in control. You did the right thing. You are a wonderful parent. At the end of the day, most men will come and go in her life, but you'll always be there. That's some sound advice. Spooky armadillo. I keep thinking if his family is so rich, he could have moved to where she was while she was going to college. But no, it's I feel unmanly and I'm not superior to you. Yeah, exactly. All right. Our next letter is titled, Am I a jerk for not going out of my way to play hostess to people who show up unannounced? My husband and I live a reasonable distance from the rest of our families. 10 years ago, we both had job opportunities in the South. Our families live in the North. We chose to take said opportunities, and it would be cheaper housing and an increase in salary. Since then, we typically see our families once or twice a year and usually go to them. Right before the world fell apart, my husband's sister and her husband retired about a half hour away from us. They're 20 years older than we are, pretty well off, and tired of the cold. From that point on, they started showing up unannounced. I really didn't mind, so long as I wasn't expected to play hostess. In the beginning, they were really coming by to play with our kids and visit my husband for a little bit. In time, that delved into them wanting to drink out on the deck with us after the kids go to bed, chatting for hours. I work 50 to 60 hours a week. When I come home, I just want to unplug and relax. My kids are getting to the age of being self sufficient and don't need tons of help. I recently told my husband that I have no issue with his sister and brother in law coming over all the time, but I'm not hanging out with them each time. He yesed me, but I don't think he believed me. The other night I came home and there they were, helping my husband make dinner. I went upstairs, took a leisurely bath, and then got into some sweats. By that time, they had already eaten dinner. I nibbled on some leftovers, checked on my kids, talked with them about their day. Once they made it clear that they just wanted to play video games and chill, I slipped back into my room to watch TV. After my kids went to bed, my husband texted me and asked if I would join them on the deck for some drinks and dessert. I declined and went to bed early. The next day, my husband said I was completely rude for not hanging out with them. Am I the jerk? All right, folks, what do you think? Jerk or not the jerk?
Not the jerk.
I'm inclined to say that OP isn't the jerk here. And I mean, I think it might have been nice to kind of check in on them, but not necessarily. And I mean, OP did kind of check in on them, periodically here and there. And it might have been nice, but I don't think it was really required. And I think that it's a bit unreasonable to expect OP, who's working 50 to 60 hours a week, to, essentially host these people. And I mean, they are over enough that they're self-sufficient, right? They know your house. They know their way around here. They're a little more than just guests here, right? They're family members who are at your house often, and they don't need to be entertained by you. And as long as they're aware that you're not like giving them the cold shoulder and that you're trying to like distance yourself from them for some reason or another, then yeah, this is perfectly fine. And like if it was every single time they came over, you're like, nope, I'm out. I'm out, then maybe you would be the jerk, but it sounds like you still want to hang out with them. It's just not like every single time they come over, right? So I don't think that this is a problem. I don't think that you're a jerk here. I think this is a reasonable expectation. So yeah, I would say not the jerk. Anyhow, take care and good luck. Not the jerk, I would have started doing this a long time ago. It's not reasonable to expect to be hosted so often. Me too, she warned him that she would do this. He's probably tired of them also and wanted a break, so he texted her to come down. You verbalized your boundary and stuck to it. You are genuinely confused as to if you're a jerk or not. And OP replies, I am because they're family and it's not like they're expecting a ton out of me. Alright folks, that's all the time we have for today. I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, consider giving me a like. And if you didn't, consider giving me a dislike. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you all tomorrow.